Okay, bitches, so we're here for the next episode of Dragon Ball Super Duper Duper. Now, we're on episode 11 now. This episode is called Let's Keep Going, Lord Beerus, The Battle of Gods Continues. And so obviously we are continuing the fight between Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus. So the episode picks up with the crew on Bulma's ship, and the ship is highly damaged from the fighting between Goku and Beerus. In particular, I believe the Goku tossing away Beerus's death ball from the earlier last episode, and that explodes, causing some problems to the Bulma's ship. The engine of the ship does not work very well. At this point, Gohan and Goten, they mention to Bulma how they don't have any energy left after doing the Super Saiyan God Circle, in order to turn Goku into the Super Saiyan God. And Piccolo, does think to himself, I see that the ritual was, very hard on them, and he wonders if Goku can, maintain the fight with Beerus. Then we see Goku and Beerus fighting, and it's pretty much dead even. They're both getting some shots in. It's a pretty solid fight so far. At this point, Beerus decides to do another, death ball type attack. He does the exact same one he did in the last episode, only this time he makes it much larger, and he himself remarks that Goku's not going to be able to just deflect this one away like he did with the last one. So he throws that at Goku, and Goku does something, it's pretty interesting. We haven't seen this before in any form of Dragon Ball. So Goku kind of catches the death ball, and he kind of gets both hands around it, and, it's kind of like, imagine if you're holding something that's, way too big for you, if you're trying to grab onto, a mattress or something. And Goku kind of just squeezes it and bear hugs it until he kind of compresses the entire death ball into his hands. And he, kind of creates an explosion just in his hands. It then shows the ship, but then it goes back to Goku and Beerus' fight. So obviously, Goku kind of condensed this huge death ball into the palm of his hand and blew it up in his hands, but that did not do any damage to him. So Goku was able to completely control this explosion. I thought that was pretty cool, and this is something no other character has done that in Dragon Ball. In GT, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, any of the movies, none of that. So I thought that was pretty cool that, that's basically something we haven't seen yet in Dragon Ball. Then Goku and Beerus, they continue sparring for a bit, and at this point, it really does seem like Goku is beginning to get the upper hand. Goku really seems to be kicking Beerus' ass, and, Gohan even remarks on the ship that, wow, because Piccolo says Goku is holding even with Beerus, and Gohan is like, no, Goku's winning. But then both Goku, and then they cut to the other world, and they show Elder Kai and Supreme Kai, Kabito Kai. Both Goku and Elder Kai, they clearly realize that Beerus is holding back, and he's not using his full power. Elder Kai elaborates on this by saying that Beerus is giving Goku time to adjust to the Super Saiyan God's power, and he wants Goku to get to his maximum overconfidence level and strength, and then Beerus wants to crush him. So then Beerus decides to start taking things serious, and he does a couple interesting attacks here, where he kind of he hits Goku, and then it almost creates kind of an energy wave type shockwave through Goku, and it kind of explodes, knocking him back. And Beerus is kind of, doing a little volleyball with Goku like this, where, he hits him, it creates this explosion, and then it knocks Goku back. Then at this point, Beerus drives Goku down to the ground. There's an island that they land on where it looks like it's almost a similar type deal as when Frieza trapped Goku in an energy ball early on in Goku's fight with Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. And Frieza mentions that if the ball touches the ground, it would create like a nuclear explosion that would kill Goku. But he's able to avoid that. And clearly, this energy attack Beerus uses is of something very similar to where when Goku hits the ground, it's going to create some explosion that would really fuck him up. Then, they hit the ground, there's a big explosion, and then we see just Beerus just walking through smoke. And he walks over to where Goku's laying on the ground, and he, gives Goku a compliment, commends him for escaping just before the blast. Then Beerus, he starts kind of, teasing Goku, and he begins knocking Goku straight up in the air. Goku, like, he kind of headbutts Goku, and Goku goes up, and then he just keeps doing it until they end up in the stratosphere. Similar to where they end up in the movie Battle of the Gods. They end up fighting, kind of in the atmosphere like this, and it's the same deal where they end up there. After these consecutive headbutts, though, Goku is clearly damaged, and he's not doing so good. And Beerus mentions, okay, enough sleeping, it's time to take this serious. And he creates this really interesting energy ball. It looks almost kind of like an atom or something. I really like the look of it. This is like a unique looking attack for Beerus, because most of the other moves Beerus has used, have been like generic looking energy balls. But this is like a really cool looking energy blast. And Beerus tells Goku, you can't deflect this, you can't do anything with it. And, this is your punishment for not, being strong enough to challenge me. And he's going to toss it at the earth and blow the earth up. And at this point, Goku yells at him, "Don't you care about human life at all?" And Beerus says, "This is a battle between two gods. That is a foolish question." And then he throws the energy ball at the earth. But then Goku shoots an energy beam that explodes it. And Goku says, well, if I can't block it or deflect it, I'll just blow it up. At this point, Beerus creates like a huge armada of all these energy balls. He creates at least like 30 or so. And, he tells Goku, try blocking this one. And at this point, Goku powers up quite a bit. And he keeps powering up and powering up. And Beerus tosses them all at Goku. And Goku shoots a huge, powerful Kamehameha that blows all of them up, and it seems to get Beerus as well. But then Goku looks up, and Beerus kind of does like a, oh damn, he just kind of like, he doesn't punch through Goku, because he has like his hand flat. He kind of just like knifes Goku in the abdomen. And he clearly his hand goes inside Goku, similar to what like Android 20 did to Yamcha. And it's, obviously a KO type finishing move Beerus is trying to do here. And Beerus says, looks like I had a case of mistaken identity. You're not the one to challenge me. And as Goku begins falling, from the stratosphere down to Earth, you could see the hole in his outfit where Beerus, broke the skin and broke his clothes. And it's interesting that the hole, you don't see skin, there's no blood or anything, but it appears to be on fire. It looks similar to what the Super Saiyan God Aura is. Now, obviously, this fire effect, this is not from Beerus, but I think this is the Super Saiyan God's power itself, to where it might be healing the wound. That's what it seems like to me, is that this aura, it either blocks Beerus's attack, or it's healing the wound. And Goku falls, he falls all the way out of the space type area they're fighting in, falls into the ocean, and he's falling down deeper and deeper. And he's thinking to himself, Beerus is so strong, I can't believe how strong Beerus is. How could I have ever known there was someone as strong as this? And then he says, it's making me so excited. And then Goku fully powers up. And then you see the flash, and you see the hole in his clothes where the wound was, but all you see is Goku's skin, so he's fine. And at this point, he flies all the way up to where Beerus is, full power. And Beerus himself actually seems a little surprised at this, and he's intrigued, and he says, okay, well, now I'll fight to the full extent of my abilities. And Goku smirks, and then the episode ends. And the preview for the next episode just shows more of the fight between Goku and Beerus, so it's still ongoing. I'm loving this, who knows how long this is going to go on, but so far, this fight has been pretty good, and I would say this has definitely been the best episode of Dragon Ball Super so far, so I am greatly looking forward to episode 12. I'll see you fuckers then. Later.